Welcome to Corks and Convo, a podcast that dives into real life topics. I'm your host, Regina, along with my co hosts, Shadon and Tiffany. Each week, we'll be exploring topics that women over 50 experience. So, whether you're 18 or 80 or just curious about what we're doing here at Corks and Convo, you're in the right place. So, grab your AirPods, your headphones, some wine, and settle in to have a uncorked conversation with us. So today, ladies, we will be talking about love after 50. What does that look like for you? What are you experiencing? How do you feel about it? Let's talk about it. Miss Shadon, you're up first.
So let's see what Shadon is doing as just turning 50. I am a baby behind the ears with 50. So I'm gonna say that. Let me let me say I am slow walking this thing. I'm slow walking, I'm taking my time. I'm most definitely doing a lot of vetting. Just like seeing what is like I'm quieting Shadon because Shadon has a lot to say. But at this point in my life, I am learning to be quiet and hear what someone else is saying. So when I'm vetting, I can't, be talking about what I like and stuff like that by just saying, okay, so how do you feel about this? And really being able to hear and say, that's probably not for me. Let's not waste the time and going on. And that's what I'm doing right now for like love, relationship type of stuff. I'm vetting to see what's best for me right now.
Okay, Tiff, let me hear what's going on with you.
I'm 47, but I still figure I'm gonna be 50 real soon. I got a couple of more years. I'm there. But love for me currently is it's exciting. I can say it is exciting, and it is something that I look forward to. And it's not a chore. It's not oh well, yeah, okay, I'll be with you. Okay, yeah, I'll be. I'm actually choosing at this point in my life who I feel I need to be with. So it's like you don't get to choose me, I choose you, kind of thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like I'm taking power back because when you be like that you the girlfriend, you the wife, and it's almost like they choose you and you feel good about that, but everybody that choose you ain't for you. So it's like I feel good now
that's
that
a word.
Get to, and make sure that they are in alignment with me. Because I don't want to just have anybody just because they choose me, It's no longer a privilege to be chosen. Like, I want to choose who needs to be in my life. So, yeah.
Tiff, you saying something, girl. You saying something. So
exactly.
For me,
wait a minute. No. Let me do my little thing. My fiance, my co-host is the fiance. Let's hear this prayer.
She got the ring on, so she good now.
Y'all need to stop it.
Wait a minute. Let me do
what
this.
What she do, Shadon, my fiance?
So I can see what this prayer is, like Sierra. My fiance.
Yes,
my fiance.
Y'all need to stop it.
All right.
Okay. So Shadon knows that I prior to this, I was in a relationship, a very long-term relationship. After I had been married and divorced, I was in a very long-term relationship. So I ended the relationship and I took 5 years of a sabbatical to just find me again, to remember who I was, to do the work on me, to make sure that I was ready to be back out in the world and trying to really just navigate the things that come along with dating. Like when you're single for a long time, you end up really not really wanting to share or to what's the word, like not necessarily share, but you have to do a lot of compromises in a relationship, and I didn't know if I wanted to do that. I wanted to just feed into what worked for me for a long time. So I did the work. I healed. I just took space for me and took the time for me until I was ready. But all while I was doing that, I still had a friendship with my now fiance. And so what happened was he ended up, saying to me, I can't believe nobody has wifed you. And I was like, it's not that nobody hasn't tried. I just wasn't in that space. And he was like, well, what are you looking for? So I just ran it down. And so then he was like, I can give you that more. And I was like, oh shoot. So and then I was like, I don't want to live in North Carolina because he currently lives in North Carolina and I was still here in Maryland. And so then I was like, I ain't trying to live in Maryland. He said, I've been trying to come back home for a minute. So now what's your excuse? I was like, ooh. So at that point, I started to try to listen and get out of my own way because I know I could have made all the excuses in the world to not do it. And so once I decided to get out of my own way, I was open. I was actually happy and giddy like a little teenager that I hadn't felt in a long time. And so as we progressed, we kept the relationship. We didn't post. We just told our very few friends and family members, but we took our time. We dated, we traveled, we did the things, and he knew off the top, which is so funny. He knew off the top. He used to always call me his wife years ago. You're gonna be my wife, right? And I'd be like, boy, bye. And so he always was to be like wifey this, wifey that. So it didn't come by surprise when he wanted to propose to me. And he's always had a good heart. It just, for me, it was a lot because like I say, I just wasn't ready for a long time to give up that, not the necessarily freedom, but the compromise that it takes for being in a relationship. I wasn't ready for that. I still had healing to do. When I would talk to a guy prior to me dating my fiance, if I would talk to a guy, he'd say something, I'd be like, red flag, red flag. Like everything was a red flag. Like I could not get out of my way because I just wasn't ready. I just was finding excuses, excuse after excuse because I wasn't ready. And I realized that I wasn't ready. But when you're ready, you will know. And so when he came along, I was like, I'm ready. Yes. And more than anything, I had done the work, but I had really prayed about it. When we started talking, I was like, God, let me know because I don't want to get into this and it's going to be so I was praying like that. I was like, I ain't got time. I ain't got too many more relationships in me. I don't want to go to jail because me, I be the. So I was saying all of those things to God, trying to be like, is this it? Is this it? And we rocking and rolling over here.
That's awesome.
Okay, you're getting out the way, but that's a good thing because I said the same thing, like the questions. And because I'm really into like questioning intentional. And like you said, like you weren't ready. So regardless of if someone said something to you, like by you not being ready, you wouldn't say like, well, I ain't ready, but you would have said something like, because I don't like so and so. I don't like that. And that's how like I'm really, really trying to use my good ear to hear that before I take it any further. Like, look, this is probably not going to work because that's going to irritate my homegirl. And homegirl I didn't put homegirl in a little box. And I'm like, you're going to irritate homegirl coming out. I'm trying to keep homegirl back there and really, take life calmly, quiet, peaceful. And if you are, I just had posted, I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone that's at war with themselves. Like, I'm trying to find peace. And if you can't, like, the conversation,
that's big.
I don't feel it. Like, I need to feel that peace, that calmness. Now, I heard your girl, Cardi's new song about And that's most definitely. Yes, I heard Cardi's new song, and she said a safe space, and that's really really good, really important, and that's one of the things that I'm listening to see if I hear someone say that. Like that's like one of the key words, my little application.
When you said a safe space, that's one of the things that my fiance has said, because everybody know I can be like a little rah-rah. So he was like, as we started dating and everything,
not you.
I could give it to you now. And so he was like, I am really surprised to see how soft you really are. And I was like, well, you created that. You allowed me to be in a safe space so you can see that softer side of me, because you allowed that space for me to be soft. So it I'm telling you, that's the word reciprocate again that I like to use. Like, so by him being able to just, I ain't even gonna say love to hurt away, but allow him the love to just be for both of us, it worked out. And I was able to just, like I said, I keep on saying get out of my own way, because for the longest time I said no, because me and him tried to date in 2011. I was like, nah, I'm good. And so but and then I remember 2015 he was at one of my birthday parties, and I was still like, nah, I'm good over here. And then it's just God's timing more than anything. But yeah, so knowing that I always knew that I wanted to be in a relationship, be married or whatever, but I didn't necessarily see me with him, but I just had to allow God to do what he was going to do. And then I had to just sit back. And also the other thing, I had to sit back, because when I first started dating him, it was overwhelming. When you start getting what you prayed for, it scares you. And so it scared me, because he I was like, oh, I always want a man who want to pray this and that. Girl, baby, he was going to pray me in the morning. We're going to pray before we go to bed. And I was like, okay, I see you. So a lot of the things that I had been asking for, when I started getting it, it scared me. So I had to say, you know what? You asked for it, now deal with what you asked for. So it was that too.
That's right.
But you deserve
and it comes quick.
You deserve it. And
it comes quick
that for you.
Thank you.
It's time.
Yes.
It's your time. Shine. So I love that. I love it. I love it. So I gotta listen to Sierra's. It's not even about Sierra's prayer. Whoever watching, it's about Reed's prayer. What is that, girl? Because I need that word.
No, it's about God's timing. It's God's timing. I mean, I ain't gonna have nothing to do with this. I had to be open to receive whatever he had for me. And I had to be humble, and I had to do the work. And the work was to let go, because for me, a lot of my stuff was about holding on to unforgiveness. Like I had to forgive myself for a lot of things that I allowed in previous relationship, a lot of things that I have done along the way. So I really had to get to a point where I can let those things go. And by letting it go, it allowed room for me to receive. So it was all about that. It's been a journey, and it had to be an intentional journey. And I use that word because I really was intentional about making sure I was the best me I can be. And then when I'm the best me I can be, I can then give to others or open up and love. I knew that I've always known that I have a lot of love to give. I always known that who I am as a woman, girlfriend, partner. I've always known who I am as that. And I was picky in my choices, because everybody doesn't deserve to experience me, but I did deserve to get what I was putting out back, and I just had to be open to receive it.
That's great. That's great. Like thought process anyway. So what was your thought process coming out? Like, how did you honestly, like, really sit back to forgive yourself for some of the things that like, what was the steps?
So the steps were my relationship with God. I knew that God, if I asked him for forgiveness, he forgave me right away. And why was I holding on to this for year after year after year? And I just kind of kept telling myself that God can forgive you. Why you can't forgive you? And I was like,
Right.
that held me down for years, y'all. And I really mean that. It held me down for years because I was so like, when you know better, you should do better. And I knew better, but I just was
Mhm.
wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. And I paid for it. I suffered and I suffered in silence for myself because I didn't forgive myself.
Mhm.
And so when I decided to do the work, and I was just like, I had to do affirmations, like, certain things like, I'm the head and not the tail. Like, I just would say all the things that God said about us, the promises that He made us. I would just keep on saying,
Mhm.
um, all of the promises. I just put the affirmations in my phone, and I have them on my bathroom wall. So when I go in there in the morning, I would just say little things. Like, it took some time for me to get here. And when I say it took time, like,
Yeah.
I would say the whole 5 years, I really did work on myself. I really did. And then I just woke up one day and then I was just like, we all
Right.
got to pass. And that was my word. That was my thinking. We all got to pass. And all of those things were in my past. So now I'm good. So I just had to keep feeding myself positive
Right.
stuff to let myself know that,
Mhm.
you human, you're going to make mistakes.
That you got this. Yeah,
Right.
that sounds good. That sounds
And
good. Like
those are the
affirmations and
building
things.
blocks.
That's a good one. I like the building blocks to get there. Because I would think like people that are
Mhm.
in a
Mhm.
situation, like what are the steps that you do? Because like sometimes, like even for myself, um, thinking of where I've been and all the things that I've done, and how do you forgive yourself? How do you, let that go? And what Tiffany said, like just the building blocks to get there. When you took the steps to do
Yeah.
it. That's good.
And
And
you don't have a direct path. There's no direct path to healing. Healing is just the work. Like you said,
Mhm.
Regina, that it took me like 6 years, 5, 6 years, and I have like stuff on my counter in my bathroom. The commits are what has held me down and got me built back up. Because when you go through something or your divorce or whatever, it takes you down. It will you will feel it. You will not come out unscathed. You will feel something from that bad situation or whatever. And like recently I had a party for my son and his, I guess my ex's mother and all of them came. And it was a great, party. I wanted everybody to come and have fun. But don't think I didn't have feelings from back then when I was going through, domestic violence or when I was dealing with bad stuff in my life. But I had to put that away and I had to focus on it was his party. It was his event. So my
Mhm.
thing is I learned to get past things, but that don't mean you forget it.
Yeah.
But you just ask
Mm.
God for the grace to push you and keep you going so that you can just grow. Because you don't know what he got for you on the other side. So if you stay where you
Exactly.
at, you'll never get to it. But if
And
you
that's a
keep
fact.
pushing and work toward it, you
Mhm.
he gonna bless you tremendously. Like my friend right now, I don't know what's going on with us. I don't know. Because I told him a lie the other day and he caught me right up in it. And I was just like, oh God, I've never been called out for nothing. I didn't even know how to take it. I was just like, oh. So, but I felt the love from him checking me a little bit on it. I was like, dang. So now I'm not dealing with somebody who I got to explain everything to. He own it. He's sharp as a tack, so I got to be careful. I got to be mindful. So God will put somebody in your path. You think you running them same games, and God, they be like, I don't know who you dealt with before, but they be
Exactly.
another caliber. And you gotta, to want better, you gotta be better. To
That is
have
true.
better, we got to step up too and be better.
Mhm.
I looked at Tony Gaskins. He was saying we got to be about our body, our brain, and our brand. Those are three things we got to keep working at to be better.
Mhm.
I
Mm.
agree. I definitely like that.
Mhm.
Your
Yeah.
body, your
So
brand, and your yeah.
So, and it's
Anything else, ladies?
also,
This is a great conversation.
yeah, I was just going to add to the conversation, just like I do want to just add a little caveat, not negativity, but just for us some self-awareness for women, because one of the things I do is I work at a hospital part-time, and I do want to say for women over 40, especially 50s, they need to be careful with their partners that they're meeting, because they're the highest rated people getting HIV and AIDS, because they might have just been finished raising their kids, and then they trying to get back out in these streets and they not being safe. So I do want to add to that you need to be careful with what and who you're doing it with, but also just cover yourself up so that those things don't happen to you. So you really have to vet, like Shadon said, you have to vet everybody and keep vetting them, because what I realized also for me was the version of myself that did the things that I wasn't so proud of, that was another Reed. That was, the younger me, the one who was a little bit more, didn't mind getting in trouble, didn't mind doing the things, and dared somebody to check her, that version. But this version of me is much different. So I don't hold, I've learned to not hold on to the hurt, the anger, and all of the things, the shame, whatever it was. I've learned to let that go, but it took time to get here. It really did take a lot of time to get here. And so for the women who are just getting out and they're starting to date and be in relationships, I'm just telling them to be careful, because you want to continue to be here. I do want y'all to have some fun, because it's fun out here to be had, but just be safe.
I agree.
Be careful. Right. I agree.
That I asked all the questions. What, Mom? Because I thought, like, we talked about this before, is like, I think it's important to, if you can, like, meet their parents to see who raised them, how, their mind and things, because that's where I'm going. Like, I'm like, how does your mind see that? Like, how do you feel about Donald Trump? How do you feel about the word nigga? How do you, like, is it disrespectful? Like, what is it? What makes you tick? What makes me tick? What is the thing that, my button, what presses it and brings that trigger up? Because, like, how I'm going to react. Now, what I am trying to work on is, and I've heard Steve Harvey say that, do not sit here and just count all the red flags. Because, like, I'll be like, red flag, red flag, red flag, and then I'll be done.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That's exactly what I was doing at one point. But to me, when I sat back and look at it, I just wasn't ready. So was it red flag? Or was it I wasn't ready? So I'm the type of person, I don't put all the onus on the other person. I always see what was my part in it. And so when I sat still long enough to see what my part was in, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready.
Right.
We can see that. I most definitely can see that, because sometimes, for you to get into something, you have to let go of that.
Oh yeah, and it was a lot. It was a lot. Trying to get to a place to just be like, you know what, that's behind me, that's the old me. It was a lot, and it was many nights of tears. It was many nights of God forgive me. And the bad thing is, I knew the very first time I asked for forgiveness, he forgave me. And then I just had to say, why are you sitting in this? I couldn't sit in it anymore. And I decided to say, you know what, God forgave me, and if he could forgive me, why are you not forgiving yourself? So it was all of that, but I'm in a better place now. I'm happy now, and I am just I'm glad that God gave me another chance, and he sent somebody who was willing to love me.
Yes, I'm so happy. That's such a good thing. And in the midst of our prayers, we got to know, in the midst of our prayers, God forgives us. He answers our prayers. So while we're praying, he's answering our prayers. And when we're done praying, we think he's still looking at it and deciding. But in a lot of cases, he's already answered our prayers. Yeah. In the midst of the words that are coming out of our mouths, he's already answered our prayers.
Well, I'm going to say this. If he could do it for you, Reed, I'm in line.
Yeah. That's what my pastor say. My pastor always be like, My pastor always be like, when one go forward, we all go forward. But if he blessing on your road,
Hey,
he gonna
we
bless
all
the next
go.
person. Yeah. So there it is.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
God ain't concerned about the 99. He concerned about the one.
The
And once he get the
one,
one, the
yes.
99 will come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, y'all, this has been great. Any other comments or any other things before we end this session, this episode 6?
Only thing I
Alright.
want to say
Well,
is
thanks to
that
another.
only thing I want to say is that be love, be what you want, like give out what you want, and you will attract it. So that's all I'm
Yes.
saying.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
That is true.
Mhm.
Now that is true.
Yes. Yes. And don't ask for more than you're willing to be, right?
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Don't
That's a good
ask for more than you're willing to be,
That's a,
right? So what we want, we also got to match. We also got
Yeah.
to bring it to the table. So
That
every
is
day,
true.
my biggest thing is just working on me, working on me, working on me.
Better
you know?
than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. 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 All right, ladies, this has been another great Uncourt conversation. We just thank all the listeners. Thanks, y'all. Thank you guys for your energy, for your great viewpoints. And we just want to raise our glasses. And here's to another Uncourt conversation with Courts and Convo. We hope you have a great remainder of the evening. And thank you for joining for Courts and Convo. Cheers.
Cheers.